What's going on, everybody? I'm Wess Moore. Welcome into More Sports. Friday made it to the weekend and getting set for a huge weekend with the NFL games, Arkansas, Georgia, but we can't forget about the portal. 4 new portal additions. We're going to discuss those. One of them I like a lot. I thought it was a huge get. Details on that coming up in a few minutes. But we're going to talk about Arkansas, Georgia. And honestly, I haven't watched a lot of Georgia, had a lot of questions about the Bulldogs and tomorrow's game. So that's what we're going to do with our first guest, talk about the Georgia Bulldogs.
All Arkansas, all sports. It's More Sports.
We got Matt Zimmerman with us tonight. He's in Athens already. The team's already made it and getting ready for the Georgia Bulldogs tomorrow. Coach, tomorrow should be a fun game to watch for the fans, just the pace of this game.
You're right, Wes. I can't believe Michael White's teams are playing this fast. You know, they've been having all these fast break points. Hogs are kind of rivaling them in that area. But for Michael White, who used to, especially when he was at Florida, they grinded it down, played a slow, methodical pace, used almost a whole shot clock. For now to be one of the top scoring teams in the country, to be this high fast break, this quick shooting team, 1-2 passes launched. It's so unusual for him, and I'll give him credit. What he was doing was just working to a certain degree, and he felt like he needed to make a big change, Wes, and he thinks it's going to help his recruiting, and they're a funner team to watch.
Yeah.
I didn't get to see their Ole Miss game live, but I went back and watched it on DVR, and it was a very entertaining game. Now, you know, when you have the overtimes like that, you're going to get more points, but it was a highly entertaining, aggressive game, and a lot of shots, a lot of wild rebounds, a lot of wild play. And you're right, tomorrow, just for fans watching the game, it could be very, very entertaining, Arkansas and Georgia.
What does Georgia do that could cause Arkansas some problems?
Well, they will hit the glass pretty good. They've been up and down rebounding the ball like most teams. Some teams they pound the glass. Some teams they've struggled rebounding against. But they'll be the home team. They're going to be very aggressive, and they're shooting a lot of threes, much more threes than they used to shoot. And we have got to be a good defensive team to win this game against Georgia, because if you just I don't know how their crowd will be, Wes. I mean, I've been here midweek before. They'd have 3,000 people. Place holds 10,500. Been here when it's full before, but only a couple times. But I expect they'll probably have 7,000, 8,000. Maybe they'll have 9,000. And they're going to play with energy. So they're going to try to fly to the glass. They're going to try to keep the crowd into the game. They're going to try to play fast. And you just got to match their energy in this game, because I think Georgia will. They're wounded. Mm-hmm. And we saw a wounded team last week at Auburn, and they came out and punched us. And we played hard at Auburn, but we didn't really play to win. And we're going to have to make sure we play to win. And I think a big key to this game, not that you can't fall behind by 10-0 and come back and win. You can. But a good start on the road would be very good for our basketball team. I don't think we want to start looking at each other and saying, is it, being down 15-6 and 20-10 and looking at each other saying, is this going to be Auburn again? A good start would take care of those feelings.
Will Georgia try to trap, press, turn you over to speed up the game?
A little bit. He's always thrown a little press. He's not a pressing coach in general. Sometimes even in the half court, to me, when I watch their team, sometimes, man, they're getting after you in the half court, pressuring, trying to deny. And then there's times like those games, like the Ole Miss game, as it started grinding on, then they just kind of contained, and they seemed like they had a different kind of man-to-man plan and kind of just tried to contain Ole Miss's attacks and tried to be just more conservative in their defensive approach. They'll trap a little bit. They're not a high trap team. I think they'll trap in obvious places, the corners and things, but got to watch for some zone. I don't think he'll play a lot of zone. He has played some zone in the past. That was what was weird the other night, Wes, against South Carolina. He plays some 1-3-1. He always has off and on Lamont Parrish. And they played some possessions of 1-3-1. It was pretty decent against us. And then Malik Thomas hit that three right in front of their bench, and he got out of it, and he never went back. And then The second half, we scoring every possession. I was just like, surely they're going to try something else. Just try to slow the game down a little bit, but they never did. But I think Florida, if we get hot like that, I'm sorry, Florida. I'm used to Michael White still being in Florida sometime. If Hogs get hot tomorrow, Michael White's going to have Georgia go to some zone.
Okay, are they a physical team?
I don't think they're the most physical team by any means. I think they're a medium physical team. I think that their physical play, if it's medium, I think it'll be amped up tomorrow. Number one, because they're at home.
Mm-hmm.
Number two, because it's Saturday. And number three, because they're coming off a bitter loss. I know I sure thought they'd beat Ole Miss at home. I think they thought they would beat Ole Miss at home. Mm-hmm. I think most people thought that the Bulldogs would beat Ole Miss at home, and they didn't. And so I think that they'll be more physical tomorrow. I don't think in general, just throughout, I don't think they're the most physical team. I think that they've got good guards and that they've got guys that are capable of having big games if you don't guard them. And, Blue Kane, he's one to watch for me, Wes, because Blue Kane has had some good games, right? He's never really hurt us too bad, knock on wood. When they beat us down here 2 years ago, though, Coach Musselman, he had a decent game down here. But he's never hurt us like big time, but he's capable. He's now his third year. But, he's made they had 13 non-conference games. I think he made 22 threes, okay, Wes? And so he's making a little less than 2 3-pointers a game. He's 0 for 15 in the conference.
Wow. I knew he went 0 for the last game, but I didn't realize he was 0 for conference.
He's 0 for conference.
Wow.
And they've looked for him. He's not been able to hit a shot. He's made some baskets, but he's not hitting any threes, and he's a 3-point guy. And so, he's due, right? To me, he's due. He's missed his last 15 threes. And so he's going to be very, very determined to play better tomorrow. I think he's kind of their energy guy. He's their blue collar George Kittle kind of guy. And when you take him out of there, it impacts them. I think that's one reason they lost. He didn't play well. But everybody in our league's talking about Jeremiah Wilkinson, and I didn't know much about him. John Sunvold, NBA player, a great player at Missouri. He did our broadcast the other night, SEC Network. And he did Missouri and Cal in 2024-25 season in Columbia. They were in the SEC ACC Challenge. I know it's real weird to think of Cal as an ACC. How ridiculous is that? But they're in the SEC ACC Challenge. So he got to see this young man, Wilkinson, play. And he's like, who is this guy? He's not very big, and he's really good. And then lo and behold, he hits the portal, and now he's a Georgia Bulldog. And I think a lot of people recruited him. He's a volume guy. He's going to get his shots up, but he can score. And he's a guy that we need him to be like, 8 for 21 or 7 for 19, something like that. He's going to make some shots. We just need him to miss more than he takes, because Wilkinson is a really good player. He wears number 5. And you'll see him right off the bat. He's a very, very active guard, and he's a good player. And then I think that the big kid inside, he was here last year, Cyril, the big kid.
Yeah.
And he's kind of like what Florida has inside, a little bit of he looks like somebody that's played at Tennessee in the past, not so much this year. Big, strong, thick. And if you give him, he's just going to try to dunk the basketball. He's going to try to tear the rim down. And he's a physical player. And so, they've got other guys. I think he's going to play nine or maybe even 10 guys. And so he's got a lot of bodies he can throw out there. But Wilkinson, Kane, Cyril, those big guys are guys. Now, the guy that they talk about a lot, and a guy that Coach White, I was watching a preseason thing where he was talking to his network or whatever. It was like a 15-minute thing. This was in October. And he really, really bragged on Smurf, who's another little guard. And Smurf is a guy that they think can really, really help them. Millinger. And he's a guy that's had a pretty good season. He leads them in assists. He's kind of an attack guy. He's a pass guard. And he's an energy player. And so I figure DJ will be on Smurf. And then I figure at times Darius will be on Smurf. And Cal loves to put Malik on those guys too with his length, Malik Thomas. And then, the one guy that he always throws on those guards at different times in the game is Billy, as Coach Cal says, Billy Goat. And so we will probably throw 4 guys at Smurf. But I think that who's guarding Smurf, Wes, will be determined by how are we doing on Wilkinson and who's guarding Wilkinson. And if DJ's doing a great job on Wilkinson, he's not going over there to guard Smurf. Wilkinson can get you 30. I don't really think Smurf can, but Smurf can have a great game, doing other things.
Sounds like a game where the guards are going to be very, very important, like most games. But in this one, it's kind of guard heavy with this matchup, and with the way Acuff's playing, and Malik Thomas since the Christmas break, and Billy, and I like Arkansas's chances on the road. I know it's tough, and I did the math. In the SEC so far, home teams are 6-2 both Saturdays. They're 4-4 midweek games both weeks, 4-4. So it's shown it's been tougher to win on the road on Saturdays.
Yeah, I'm going to use that, and the Saturday win rate has always been higher than in the midweek. You're right. I was doing my SEC picks that I do, and I think road teams can have a good game tomorrow as far as across. I know we're not talking about the cross the league period, but it'll be interesting. It'll be, can Alabama win it at Oklahoma? They can, but you don't know if they will. Can Florida win at Vandy? How about that game?
Yeah, that's
How about that game? Can Kentucky, who I think is towards the bottom of this league, but they're 2-2, can they win at Kentucky at Tennessee? And Tennessee's good, not great. I mean, they're okay, right? And so I think tomorrow's an opportunity for the road teams. But you're right. 6-2 Saturdays, it's hard to win on the road. And how about next Saturday? Hogs got LSU. I'll take my chances right at home.
Yeah. Before we get you out of here, it's a topic, and it's on basically every Little Rock radio show. Darius Acuff, best freshman Razorback ever.
You're being tough. I didn't know he was going to go hardball right off the bat. I can't say that yet. But you could, Sydney had a tremendous freshman year. Corliss Williamson and Scotty Thurman both.
Yeah.
Todd Day and Lee Mayberry both. Big O didn't have the freshman year that Todd and Lee did, but they also had teams that won the conference. Won the conference tournament, but they didn't win national championships as freshmen. None of those guys made it to the Final Four as a freshman. They made Sweet 16s and things like that as these freshman stars. Joe Johnson got going, but it was the latter part. Mm-hmm. There's been other really. Moses Moody had a good freshman year, Final 8 team, but we didn't win the league or anything. And Moses had a lot of help. Anthony Black had a great freshman year, but I think Anthony's year we finished like 8th or 9th in the league. But we went to we had the great run and made the Sweet 16. And so there's been so many good ones. But I don't want to take this from Darius because I don't want to say that right now, but we could be definitely saying it without any doubt when it's all said and done this year. We've not had hardly anybody like this, scoring like this, shooting this clip, high assist, low turnovers, plays really good defense. To me, it's already one of the top freshman seasons. It's really one of the best seasons we've had from a Razorback period. So I think that you can definitely argue that if you're a guy that's saying this is the best freshman we've ever had, it's a super good argument.
Coach, we appreciate it. Thank you for your time. Enjoy Athens, and we'll be listening tomorrow. Have a good call.
Awesome. Appreciate it, Wes. Take care.
It's Gwatney Buick GMC's Forecast Frenzy. A huge sale as nuts as an Arkansas forecast. Tomorrow's blizzard calls for traction. Get huge savings on Sierra and Canyon 4-wheel drive. Expect a heat wave the next day. Take the top off and enjoy these pre-owned. Followed by a monsoon. The front-wheel drive Encore will get you there at just $199 a month. It's Forecast Frenzy all month long at Gwatney Buick GMC. We never know what the weather is, but the savings are going to be
Big thanks to Gwatney Buick GMC, and also big thanks to A Plus Alarm, our newest sponsor, A Plus Alarm and Security Services. When it comes to protecting what matters most, I trust A Plus Alarm and Security Services. Personally, I've used them for over 20 years. They install my alarm and camera system with the same care and professionalism they give every home and business, from residential to commercial security. A Plus Alarm delivers reliable protection you can count on, because they are truly the key to a peace of mind. Call them 501-851-7587. You see the number on your screen. Also go to their website, aplusalarm.net. Very simple to find and very good company to be using. Been doing it for 20 years, like I said. All right, let's talk about the portal, because Arkansas got 4 new portal additions today, and they were much needed portal additions. Hit the secondary. That's what we've been talking about, right? Said that Arkansas had to get some defensive help, especially the safety position. And today, at least 2, maybe 3 safeties, depending on how they want to use these defensive backs. But Carter Stoutmeyer, that's the big one, from University of Colorado, started 8 games last year for Colorado, missed 4 due to injury. But in those 8 games, he had 12 passes broken up. He had 5 passes broken up. He had 38 tackles in those 8 games, knows how to play that safety position, has done it at the Power 4 level. I think he is a guy, Carter Stoutmeyer, he is a guy that comes in and can be a starter for Arkansas in spring practice, hold that position through fall camp, and you see him starting for Arkansas next season. In 2 seasons at Colorado, 12 passes broken up, 81 tackles. That's experience. Did not know if they could find somebody like that late in the portal. So when I saw that they got Stoutmeyer and the starting experience, I was very happy. I was like, that is exactly what they needed right there. That was a heck of a way to start the day off. They also got a defensive back from West Georgia. I watched some film on him. He was mainly playing cornerback when I watched him. Had a couple of interceptions, some passes broken up, good tackler. Now, this is at the FCS level. But he was productive at West Georgia, 42 tackles, 2 interceptions, 3 passes broken up. He also had a visit to West Virginia and Georgia State. So this was a guy, if nothing else, this is a second-team guy, third-string guy, but he provides some depth, and you got to have it in case there are injuries. John House IV, also a safety from Middle Tennessee. Don't know a lot about him and how he projects with Arkansas, but he's another body, somebody they desperately needed at that safety position. And what it does, we're talking with some of the recruiting guys, Christian Harrison from Cincinnati, he was one of my favorite early guys, one of the first guys to sign with Arkansas. He plays a lot of nickel too. He can play safety. He can play nickel, kind of settled in at that safety spot at Cincinnati. But if Arkansas feels good at safety and they need that nickel cornerback, that third nickel, maybe he's your guy. But nothing else, it gives them a little competition to where maybe they find somebody else at nickel and feel good and put Christian Harrison back at safety. Then all of a sudden you do have your 2 safeties with Harrison and Stoutmeyer, 2 guys that are very familiar with their dads and playing in the NFL and know what it takes to play at a high level. And then they finished off the day by signing Aiden Bussell. He is an offensive lineman, 6'5", 305. Last season, he enrolled at West Virginia and then stepped away from the team to take care of his health. Before that, so he never played at West Virginia. Before that, he was at Tennessee, redshirted his first year, played in a couple games his redshirt freshman year. So this is a guy who's been out of high school for 3 years and hasn't played a lot of football. Probably, what would you say, two games in 3 years? So at 6'5", 305, has a size. And what intrigued me about this, he was recruited by Memphis out of high school. And he chose Tennessee after a very good list of schools that were recruiting him. But Memphis was on him, so they're familiar with him from the days of recruiting him out of high school. Obviously, what it tells me, they liked something about him back then and feel like it's worth taking a chance to bring him in after taking a year off from football to see if, whatever the case, he can rekindle or find what was missing and maybe a diamond in the rough. But Bussell is someone they felt like it was worth taking a chance on. So got to trust them and what they're thinking at that position. All right, that's your 4 transfers for today. Big thank you to Gwatney Buick GMC for being a part of the show. Gwatney Buick GMC has got all kinds of great deals going on right now. You just heard about the spring frenzy because of the weather. You never know what's going on. If you want to find out what's going on at Gwatney Buick GMC, go to their website, GwatneyBuickGMC.com. The forecast frenzy features a couple of great deals like the Canyon 4x4 at just $399 per month. How about a 2026 4x4 Sierra? 20% off MSRP right now. They got the 2026 Encore GX. It is at $199 a month. Forecast frenzy sale going on right now at Gwatney Buick GMC. Head on out to 5700 Landers Road in North Little Rock. Tell them that I sent you. Tell them that you appreciate that they support more sports and you want to support them. Check them out. Go see what they have to offer. If you're in the market for a new vehicle or a previously owned vehicle, they have that covered too. Please go check out Gwatney Buick GMC and tell them that Wess Moore sent them out there and they're going to take care of you. It's GwatneyBuickGMC.com. GMC, we are professional grade. All right, that is about going to wrap it up for tonight. Tomorrow, a huge day. Arkansas, Georgia, tipping off at 3 o'clock. Don't forget, I got the Razorback basketball post-game show brought to you by Bet Saracen. We'll be out walk-ons. So if you want to watch the game somewhere, because we'll also have Buffalo and Denver kicking off at 3:30. Great place to go. Great food. Hang out with us. Watch the game with me. And Josh Neighbors will be out there. And we'll have the Razorback game on and the NFL game and then the post-game show following that. And we'll see if we can't find Arkansas at 4-1 atop the SEC standings when we're back here on Monday. Thank you for watching. Have a great weekend. Be back here Monday for more sports.
All Arkansas, all sports. It's more sports.